Hi, I'm Chip. If your dryer comes on and gets hot but still isn't drying your clothes, why not try this before calling your repairman? Okay, so your dryer comes on and it gets hot but your clothes aren't drying. What's going on here? There's two things the dryer has to have for your clothes to get dry. One of them is heat, so the heat supplied by your element, and the other one is airflow. So if you're getting heat, the problem is probably going to be your airflow. So before you call your repairman, what you should do is go behind your dryer and disconnect the vent hose, and disconnect it from where it goes out the wall and into the dryer, and take it outside and shake it out and make sure there's no lint clogging the air hose. While you're behind there, look up inside the dryer exhaust port and make sure there's no lint in there. A lot of times on these modern dryers, if you don't clean the vent filter out, let's say your dryer has a vent filter on the top. If you don't clean that out often enough, that sometimes it will slough off from that screen and fall down into the blower, and the blower throws it out into the vent hose and plugs it up. You must clean that lint filter out every time you use it. I have been on calls where there's college kids who have never cleaned their lint filter out, and it has plugged up the exhaust ports on the dryer. So you have to have airflow, and the biggest problem there is there's something blocking the exit of the air. I have also seen where somebody dropped a compact disc down the hole in the dryer, and it was perfect size to stop up or fit across the hole there where the blower gets its exhaust air. Here's some examples of what you might find if your vent hoses haven't been cleaned out in a long time. You can see in this picture that over time the moisture collects in that inside that pipe, and as the lint blows through there, it catches and it builds up over time and restricts the airflow down to less than nominal area for the air to pass through. Also, the outside vent, that some of them have flappers on them to prevent varmints or something coming back up into your house. The moisture from drying the clothes will collect on that, and then particles of lint also collect on that moisture, and over time it acts kind of like glue, and it will keep that flapper from moving or opening enough for the airflow to come through. So to save a service call, the best thing to do is to clean that vent line out. If your dryer comes on, it gets hot, then the next thing to check for is airflow. Okay, in the case of a dryer being inside the interior of the house where it doesn't vent directly to the outside, you may vent through a wall up to the attic, and in that case you need to go into the attic and take a stout nylon line and with a weight on the end of it and drop it down that vent pipe and then retrieve it at the other end. Tie rags or maybe a clean out brush such as this one on it, and then pull it back up through that vent line. Make sure your knots are tight and that everything is secure when you do this, because the worst case scenario is as you're dragging that brush or bundle of rags or whatever it is that you're cleaning that pipe out with, you don't want it to break somewhere in the middle, and then you have an obstruction in that pipe that you can't get out. That being said, they make smaller brushes such as this. If your lint filter is like in the front of your dryer, you can take these brushes and you can bend this wire to get into all kinds of little cracks and crevices, and periodically brush that inside out where your lint filter drops there in the door. Another thing, if sometimes your dryer may be heating up and it's not heating up sufficiently to dry your clothes. In this case, your element may be grounded to the frame, and the entire element's not glowing enough to get the air hot enough to dry your clothes. One way to test this is turn the timer on and open the door and observe to see if you see make sure that the room is dark, and you can look inside the dryer and look for the glowing element, evidence of that through the little vent holes that are usually on the left hand side of the dryer. Sometimes they're on the right, but you can see if the element's glowing. If it's glowing and you're still not getting enough heat, your element is going to be grounded to the frame, and not enough of it is being energized to produce enough heat to dry your clothes. Okay, here are a few problems you might find. You can see here in this picture here, you can see the vent flapper is clogged up with lint. It needs to be removed and replaced. And also, inside your dryer there are vent ducts that could be plugged up that if you can't get enough air coming out the exhaust port on your dryer itself, then it may be clogged internally. I've seen this happen a lot with the lint filter on the top of the machine. In that case, you may need to call a repairman to disassemble your machine and clean these ducts out. They do get clogged up with lint if you're not diligent about cleaning your lint filters daily. Okay, you know how YouTube works. If you smash that like button and subscribe to my channel, it'll make it available to more people that need content like this. I appreciate the help you give me, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you.